Sanus 180 double SAA slide in to take your credit. Yeah, I was confused when I saw that. Like I said before, if someone in the chat can please explain to me how they think that they were responsible for this, I would really love for someone to explain it to me, because from what I've seen and what I explained before about the election and their strategy for the last 4 years, it's a bit of a stretch, but whatever helps you sleep at night, if that's what you want to tell yourself when you look in the mirror. Some people will tell themselves interesting things, but I don't have time it's not about credit for me. As I've said before, I have my own life to live. I have many other things and dreams that I want to achieve. I am not doing this for clout chasing. I'm doing it because I see in every person that talks to me, I see my dad and what the government did to him in 1996. So this is my motivation behind this, and it's caused me quite a lot of stress. I have to be honest, I'm very tired, especially because of my personal circumstances, living on the road and supporting Mr. Liberty as he works. So this is not something that I recommend to people to take on lightly. But if you are like me and you feel you need to do something for your community, and you're in a position because of your life and your life choices and your involvement in politics and working for Senator David Leyonhjelm and working for SSAA National, that was my background, 5 years working for them. I felt that it was my responsibility to my people of Western Australia, particularly because I can no longer participate in the political process as a candidate. We need a whole complete rehaul of our voting system before we can have real change. So I'm happy to be of service to you, and it does come at a cost. I know there's been some more smear campaigns about me. My cousin in New Zealand, something popped up over there in one of the anti-gun groups about me. So this is, yes, it can be quite stressful, and I just want to be on the beach reading a book and having a smoke. I'm not a very public person. I'm doing this because it's my duty to you. Joe Smith. Hi, I've just found this live chat. I'm a double SAA member, and I think all double SAA members should cancel our memberships, and you should start a shooters association, and we all join you to represent all of us and drop double SAA. Yes, this has been something that has been mentioned to me, and I think my dear friends Mark and Sam are looking at forming their own organisation. And that's something that I support. I've had experience working with a lot of organizations, and after my last experience, I said publicly that I will not be working with any Australian shooting organization ever again. And that comes after years and years of blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice for the cause to try and help those organizations that say they represent us. But I've found it to be a very different experience working from the inside. So I have to get on to Mark and Sam and see what their plan is for a new organization. The good thing about what I've been doing, and it said clearly on the letter to the police commissioner, is that I represent thousands of people. And that's something I mentioned in my open letter to the police minister, that I feel like I am in a position, because of all my followers and all the emails and the people that I know and speak to in our big community, that I'm in a position where I can say I do represent your interests, and I'm very clear that I am here to represent we the people, not any organisation with their own agenda, not a business, not the dealers, not anyone else but the people. And I feel that that's something that has been missing in our community and at the table with government, is no one has been sitting there as a person who purely represents the people, not trying to protect an organisation or personal interests or personal agendas. I just want the people to be able to live freely, peaceful people, keep our guns. We are not a risk. The stats about firearm crime by licensed firearm owners, negligible. These are the facts. People's eyes tend to glaze over when you start talking about stats. That's why I don't speak about it as often as I should. And I have this graph burnt into my brain from pre-1996 and the homicide rate with firearms, which was already on a trajectory that was falling before the laws were changed across the states and territories in 1996, pushed by the federal government, Howard and the Labor Party, bipartisan, joined together to come against our community. So that graph showed that the laws didn't change the trajectory of that graph that was already falling. So I think a lot of people know what I'm talking about. And if you are interested in the statistical facts about firearms, I did a fantastic interview with Dr. John Lott Jr., who's an esteemed criminologist and firearms expert in America. And he is just brilliant. So that's on my YouTube channel. Please check that out if you want to hear us spurging out about stats. Mike, who has said won't be renewing my SSAAWA membership, nothing burgers. This is the other problem I have with the establishment and the culture of Australian firearm owners is we are forced to join clubs or organisations that we don't support or don't align with because of the laws that say that we must be a member of a club to keep our guns. And that's something they brought in Western Australia specifically. So a lot of farmers that have contacted me have said they want to keep some of their guns that they can no longer use on their own private property. Property rights, again, it's a bastion of a free society. So they're saying, I don't want to join a club. One person even emailed me and said, I have to go to a club to sight in my rifle. I can't even do that on my own property anymore. I told some of my mates in America that, and they nearly fell over and said, what do you mean a farmer can't sight in his own bloody rifle on his own bloody property? It's just insane territory we're getting in now. And people, this is also something that I'm very aware of, is they're pricing people out of our community. People just simply won't be able to afford to keep our guns with the outrageous storage requirements, which again, these are part of the regulations, which is administrative law. So it's something that can be challenged a lot easier than what's in the Act, from what I have been told. And is it fair and reasonable? Is it reasonable for someone who owns 2 pistols, like my dad does, because he's got mine now, to have to upgrade his safe to be 10 mil thick with CCTV and alarms? Is that really fair and reasonable for such an onerous cost on a bloke who just goes out and shoots metallic silhouettes on a Sunday with his daughter? I mean, this is something that my lawyer's definitely looking at, and I will bring updates on all the other challenges as soon as we have more things organised. It's a lot, and I have to thank my lawyers and my King's Counsel especially for taking up this high-profile, sensitive, controversial case and for working with me. I mean, you would have seen by now how I've been represented by the corporate press and by other media outlets that represent other interests. It does weigh on my shoulders sometimes, and I thank everyone for who emailed me in support and said you must be doing something right if this is how they're trying to portray you. And I have also been getting media requests to go on some radio shows in WA. That's something that I will do as soon as I have all the information about what we can do next, because because I'm a journalist, I know that they control the narrative. And I didn't just because I'm transparent, I did get media requests after that story that came out about me by Ben Harvey, that picture in the Western Australian newspaper on page 8. It should have been page 3. That would have made me feel a little bit better. But I did get media requests to go on to talk about that. And I didn't want the story to be about me. This is not about me at all. I'm just the person with the name on the legal documents who's in a position to help my people. So I did not want to go on a radio show to talk about me. I will go on as soon as I know how else we can challenge this. And we're looking at class action. I can say that. That is still something. It takes a lot of work to set up. My Casey is the only one who's prosecuted a successful class action in WA. This is also why I'm working with him. the best of the best for my people. So there's a lot going on, and the mainstream media, can't trust them. They have their own agendas. The state government is the biggest donor, advertiser, spender in that. So I'm very careful about who I talk to and when. And I'm a journalist, so I know how it works.